Anna and Jack's courageous quest.
In a quaint village nestled among rolling hills and lush forests, there stood a small cottage with a thatched roof and weathered wooden walls. Inside lived a loving family, a hard-working mother and father, along with their two children, Anna and Jack. Anna, the elder of the two, was an 8-year-old girl with fair skin, long brown hair that cascaded down her back, and piercing blue eyes that sparkled with curiosity. She often wore a simple long dress made of soft, light blue fabric that swished around her ankles as she moved. Jack, her 5-year-old brother, was a bundle of energy with tousled brown hair, warm brown eyes, and a mischievous grin that rarely left his face. He was almost always seen in his favorite pair of long brown overalls, the knees slightly worn from his many adventures. Every morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, their parents would set out for work. The mother and father, both skilled woodcutters, would venture deep into the forest, axes in hand, to chop wood which they would later sell in the nearby town. Before leaving, they would always remind Anna to take care of her little brother and keep an eye on the house. Anna, feeling important and responsible, would nod solemnly, her blue eyes wide with determination. Once their parents disappeared down the winding path that led to the forest, Anna and Jack would begin their day of fun and adventure. They would start by tidying up the cottage, making their beds, and sweeping the wooden floor. Anna, being taller, would reach up to dust the high shelves, while Jack, with his small hands, would polish the lower cabinets until they shone. Together, they made quite the efficient team, turning their chores into a game to see who could finish first. After their morning tasks were complete, Anna and Jack would embark on their daily adventures. Sometimes, they would pretend to be brave knights defending their castle, which was actually their cottage, from imaginary dragons. Other times, they would go on treasure hunts in their small backyard, digging up interesting rocks or colorful feathers that they would proudly display on their windowsill. Anna would often make up stories about magical creatures living in the nearby woods, and Jack would listen with wide-eyed wonder, hanging on to every word. As lunchtime approached, Anna would lead Jack back into the cottage. She would carefully climb onto a stool to reach the higher cupboards, pulling out bread, cheese, and fruit for their meal. Jack would help by setting the table, his small hands carefully placing forks and spoons next to each plate. They would sit together, munching on their simple but satisfying lunch, giggling and sharing stories about their morning adventures. One particular day, as Anna and Jack finished their lunch, they noticed dark clouds gathering in the sky outside their window. The once bright and cheerful day was quickly turning gloomy and foreboding. Anna frowned, her blue eyes filled with concern as she looked at the ominous sky. "Jack," she said, her voice slightly trembling, "I think a storm is coming. We should close all the windows and doors." Jack nodded, his brown eyes wide with a mix of excitement and fear. Together, they scurried around the cottage, shutting windows and latching them securely. As they closed the last window, a loud crack of thunder shook the air, causing both children to jump. "Don't worry, Jack," Anna said, trying to sound brave despite her own fear. "We're safe inside. Let's light some candles in case the power goes out." As the storm raged outside, with rain lashing against the windows and wind howling through the trees, Anna and Jack huddled together in the living room. They wrapped themselves in a cozy blanket, the flickering candlelight casting dancing shadows on the walls. Anna, sensing her little brother's fear, began to tell him one of her fantastical stories. "Once upon a time," she began, her voice steady and soothing, "there was a brave little knight who wasn't afraid of anything, not even the biggest, scariest storm." Suddenly, a particularly loud clap of thunder rattled the cottage, followed by a bright flash of lightning that illuminated the room. Jack yelped and buried his face in Anna's shoulder. "It's okay, Jack," Anna whispered, stroking his brown hair. "Remember, we're the brave knights protecting our castle. The storm can't hurt us here." Jack lifted his head, his brown eyes meeting Anna's blue ones. He nodded slowly, a small smile forming on his lips. As the storm continued to rage, Anna and Jack decided to build a fort to make themselves feel safer. They gathered all the pillows and blankets they could find, draping them over chairs and tables to create a cozy hideout. Inside their fort, they felt protected from the storm's fury. Anna produced a small box of colored pencils and some paper from a nearby drawer. "Let's draw pictures of our brave adventures," she suggested, handing Jack a red pencil. For the next hour, the children immersed themselves in their artwork, the sound of the storm fading into the background as they focused on their creations. Anna drew a picture of herself and Jack as mighty warriors, while Jack scribbled a colorful representation of their cottage-turned-castle. They giggled and praised each other's work, their fears momentarily forgotten in the joy of their shared activity. As evening approached, the storm began to subside. The thunder grew distant, and the rain softened to a gentle patter. Anna peeked out from their fort, her blue eyes scanning the room. "I think the worst is over, Jack," she said, relief evident in her voice. "Should we come out and prepare dinner for when Mom and Dad return?" Jack nodded enthusiastically, his brown eyes bright with excitement at the prospect of their parents' return. Together, they emerged from their fort and set about preparing a simple meal. Anna carefully sliced bread and cheese, while Jack arranged fruits in a bowl. They worked in comfortable silence, both feeling a sense of accomplishment for having braved the storm together. As they finished setting the table, they heard the familiar sound of footsteps approaching the cottage. The door swung open, revealing their parents, wet but smiling. "Anna! Jack!" their mother exclaimed, rushing to embrace them. "We were so worried about you during the storm." Their father joined the hug, his strong arms encircling them all. "But we should have known you'd be fine," he said, pride evident in his voice. "You're both so brave and responsible." Anna and Jack exchanged a glance, their eyes twinkling with shared secret of their adventure. They had faced their fears, protected each other, and emerged stronger. As the family sat down to enjoy their meal together, Anna and Jack knew that no matter what challenges they might face in the future, they would always have each other's support and courage to see them through.
Please subscribe for more engaging stories.
The end. Please subscribe for more engaging stories.